Um, it's a little bit hot in here. All right, folks. So let's talk about invitations. Last book, we saw invitations. We saw how to make invitations. We saw two different ways to make invitations. Do you remember though? Do you remember the two different ways to make invitations from the last book? Can you make an invitation in the chat? Let's see, give you an opportunity. Try making an invitation on the chat. Hello? Oh, okay. That was that Lewander. Lewander, you are confused. Guys, continue. Want to see your invitations. Mm-hmm. Yes, Kevin, that's correct. Would you like to go to the beach? Lewander, do you like to see a movie? That's not an invitation. That is a normal question for preference. Do you like to see a movie? Like, for example, do you like it? Now, if you want to make an invitation, you have to say, would you like? Do you go to the, nah, Jose Manuel, that is incorrect. Totally incorrect. Okay, looks like you don't remember. But the two ways we saw in the last book to make invitations were the following. Annotate. In the last book, we saw two forms. We saw, do you want? And the other was, would you like? So those were the two forms in which we could make invitations according to the last book, okay? So we could say, do you want to see a movie? And would you like to go to the movies? See, a different thing. Would you like to see a movie? And would you like to go to the movies? It's a different thing. So those were the two forms we had to make invitations, using do you want and would you like. So now we're going to explore the option of would you like only. Would you like to go, well, actually you don't have to say to go. It's would you like to play basketball? Okay, you can say, would you like to play basketball? Would you like to play basketball? That's the correct form. Okay, you don't have to say to go play the basketball. That's incorrect. Never say the basketball, okay? You never say the with the sports. Never the baseball, never the basketball, never, never, never. So would you like to play basketball? That's the correct question. So let's check on, there goes the noise, reminding me that we live in the Dominican Republic. Anyway, so invitations, folks. The easiest way, when I say easiest, is the comparative, you know, easier. The easiest way to ask someone out, What is to ask someone out? To ask someone out, this in here, everything I put on bold is very important for you, okay? Everything I put on bold is very important for you. To ask someone out, let me change this, Spanish. It's to invite someone out, okay? Ask someone out is invite. So the easiest way to ask someone out is by making an invitation, okay? That's the easiest way. That's the simplest of the forms. So you can say that when making an invitation, we can use different structures, okay? When we make invitations, we use different structures. We have different forms, like the ones we saw yesterday, not yesterday, like earlier. Do you want to, and would you like to, and we have others, okay? Like, what about this? Or let's do this. Okay, we have different ways of making invitations and suggestions. Now we're going to see would like. Okay, we're going to work with this one only. Okay, remember to copy this. Well, this is on the video, but you remember to copy this always and have notes of this, okay? Because I got to eliminate it. So would is a modal verb. Would. Let me explain would. What is would? Because you might be looking at would and you say like, what, teacher, what is would? Well, would is a modal verb, okay? It expresses a desire or inclination. Would expresses a desire or inclination. It is used to express a polite request to. What is polite? Polite is educated, okay? Educated. Like when someone has manners, when someone is educated. Well, it is used to express an educated request to, okay? Educated request to, that is polite. So we can use it to make invitations with the following form. Would, first, for the request, we start with would. Then the pronoun, the noun or the pronoun that we have, that we're going to use, because it can be a different pronoun, not only you. Then we have like, okay, you see, we use like. These are the things that we don't change, would and like in black, because they don't change. They are static, you cannot change them. If you change them, it will be incorrect. And full infinitive, which I explained already, full infinitive, you should remember that, which is the verb and to, and the complement, okay? Which also changes. Example, would you like to go to the movies? Would you like to go to the movies? So as you can see in colors, you have each part of the invitation. You have would, you have the pronoun, you have like, you have the full infinitive, and you have the complement to the movies, okay? So, nouns and personal pronouns, okay? For here, we can use nouns or personal pronouns. For example, you, she, he, Juan, Maria, they, etc., etc., etc. Now, in the full infinitive is to plus the verb, okay? To plus the verb. That is what we call full infinitive. Example, to go, to dance, to eat, to visit, to see, etc. So it's the verb and to. That is full infinitive. Remember that, guys, okay? That is full infinitive. Let me add it here because it is important for you. You're gonna see that a lot. So for the invitations, we have short answers that we can use when we want to accept an invitation, okay? So when we accept an invitation, we use short answers. For example, in short answers, we use the pronoun and the modal verb of the question. Instead of the question, let's say request. Of the request, okay? Let's use this word. In short answers, we use the pronoun and the modal verb of the request. The request is the invitation in this case. Example, would you like to go to the movies? So the short answer would be, yes, I would. Yes, I would. You can say, yes, I would. Would you like to do this? Yes, I would. We can intensify our answer to demonstrate more interest in the invitation too. Okay? So we can like make it bigger and more emotional and more interesting, just to show that we are more that we are very interested in the invitation, in accepting the invitation, or in going with that person to that place. Imagine it's a imagine that you are in love with a guy. He's not, or with a girl. They are not your boyfriend or girlfriend. You are just in love with them. Every day you see them in class and they are handsome and beautiful, okay? That's a girl and a boy. And one day, yeah, you never talk to that person sometimes, but you never tell them that you are in love with them. So one day that guy approaches you and asks you, hey, Carlos, would you like to go to the movies with me next Saturday? How do you feel? You feel excited. You feel, what? Yes, of course. So you're going to intensify your answer by saying, for example, yes, I'd love to. I'd love to. Okay? You can say, yes, I'd like to. Or yes, I'd be happy to. Or yes, I'd be glad to. Okay, we have these options to intensify our answers. So, would you like to go to the movies? Yes, I'd love to. Thanks. We can use love to, like to, be happy to, be glad to, etc., etc., etc. Okay? I'd equals I would. Okay, it's a contraction of I would. And the pronunciation is I'd with the Spanish sounds. I'd. Okay? I'd. You can make Spanish sounds there. I'd. I'd. Let's continue. Now, we do not only accept invitations, I put it there. We do not only accept invitations, we refuse also invitations when we have something else to do, another plans, or we basically want to say, we simply want to say no to the person. So when this situation happens, we have different forms on saying no. So when we have to refuse, what is refuse? Say no. For whatever reason, we can make an excuse, okay? We can make an excuse. Or we can say exactly what the reason is. Women are experts in this, okay? In making up excuses. Example, would you like to go to the movies tomorrow night? So you would say, oh, I'd love to, but I have to study for exam, okay? First, you said, I'd love to, but then you continue with but to imply that you are going to say something different to what you said before, okay? This is, I'd love to, but I have to study for exam. So you're basically saying no, but you're saying no in a polite manner. Okay, you're giving an excuse. This is the excuse. I have to study for exam. So we introduce the excuse, this excuse in here, using but, and then the verbs need for necessity, have for obligations, and want for desire or plans. Okay? We introduce the excuse using but, and then the verbs need for necessity, have for obligations, and want for desire or plans. Okay, something that you want to do, that you want to do. Okay, it's not like an obligation or a necessity, but it's something you want to do. Example, would you like to see a play at the National Theater next Saturday? So you can say, I'd be happy to, but I have to babysit that night. Okay, remember babysit, to take care of a little child. So I'd be happy to, but I have to babysit that night. Another example, I'd like to, but I want to visit my parents on the weekend. I would like to, but I want to visit my parents on the weekend. So you express here a desire or a plan that you already have, and here you express an obligation that you have because you already make plans, so you are obliged to do something. So I'd be happy to, but I have to babysit that night. Useful vocabulary. Yes, we're almost finishing. Useful vocabulary. Okay, this is important vocabulary for you. Do you make up excuses? Do you make up excuses? What is make up, teacher? Well, make up is invent, imagine, create. So make up basically is when a partner from the classroom that you don't like at all invites you to a place. For example, they say, Leslie, hi Leslie, how are you doing? Would you like to go to the beach next Sunday with me? It's only you and me. So Leslie doesn't have any plans, okay? She's in quarantine, so she doesn't have any plans, but she doesn't want to go to the beach with that person. So Leslie is going to make up an excuse, okay? She's going to make up an excuse, meaning that she's going to invent an excuse. She's going to imagine or create one. So she's going to say, I'm sorry, but I have to take care of my grandmother. Okay, I have to take care of my grandmother. So that is to make up or invent an excuse. The other one is, do you turn down invitations? Do you turn down invitations? What is turn down, teacher? Simple. Turn down is to refuse or to say no. It's another way to say no, okay? Turn down. So, turn down is what Leslie said with the invitation. Leslie, do you want to go to the beach with me next Sunday? I'm sorry, but I have to do something, okay? I have to take care. So she's turning down the invitation. You can say, I'm sorry to turn you down, but I can't. I have something to do. So that is turn down invitation. So do you turn down invitations? Do you make up excuses? So that's what they mean. So we basically